In the beginning, Bible stories in the beginning, before time itself was measured, before the world took shape, there was only an endless expanse of darkness. The vastness of space was silent and still, filled with nothing but the quiet hum of eternity. There was no sun to warm the skies, no moon to light the night, no stars to twinkle from the heavens. The universe was a deep, unbroken sea of darkness, and there was water mysterious and infinite stretching across the cosmos in endless waves. But within this boundless void, there was God. God was the source of all that would come to be, the origin of life, light, and love. He existed before time began, eternal and all-powerful, encompassing everything that was and would be. In the heart of this great emptiness, God's presence was a beacon of hope, a force waiting to bring order and beauty to the chaos. God looked upon the darkness and decided that it was time to create. He knew that the universe needed more than just water and darkness, it needed light. And so, with a word, he brought forth light. "Let there be light," God commanded, and in an instant, light burst forth, cutting through the darkness like a blade. The light was pure and radiant, filling the universe with warmth and brilliance. God separated the light from the darkness, creating the first day. The light was called day, and the darkness was called night. The first day was born, a cycle of light and darkness, a rhythm that would continue for all time. The day was bright and filled with potential, while the night was peaceful and serene, offering rest to all who would inhabit the earth. On the second day, God turned his attention to the space above the waters. The heavens, as we now call them, were formed on this day. God stretched out his hand, and the sky began to take shape, a vast dome that separated the waters below from the waters above. The sky was a canvas of endless blue, a shelter for the earth and a home for the stars that would soon adorn it. The heavens were magnificent, a testament to God's power and creativity. The sky arched above the waters, a beautiful expanse that would one day be filled with clouds, birds, and the changing hues of dawn and dusk. But for now, it was pure and perfect, waiting for the wonders that God would soon create to fill it. On the third day, God looked upon the waters and decided that it was time for the land to emerge. He commanded the waters to gather in one place, and as they did, dry land appeared. This land, which God called earth, rose from the waters like a newborn, rich with potential and life. The seas gathered around it, sparkling in the light that God had created, their waves lapping gently against the shore. The earth was a blank canvas, ready to be filled with life. God spoke again, and the land began to sprout with vegetation. Grass covered the fields, soft and green underfoot. Seeds were scattered across the earth, and soon herbs, fruits, and trees began to grow. The trees reached toward the sky, their branches heavy with fruit, their leaves rustling in the breeze. The air was filled with the scent of flowers and the promise of life. The earth was now a paradise, a place of abundance and beauty. The land was fertile and rich, offering sustenance and shelter to all who would live upon it. The seas were deep and mysterious, teeming with potential life. God looked upon his creation and saw that it was good. The third day came to a close, and the earth was ready for the next stage of creation. On the fourth day, God turned his attention to the sky. He knew that the earth needed a source of light to govern the day and night, to mark the passage of time and the changing of the seasons. And so, God created the sun, a great, burning orb that would light up the sky and warm the earth during the day. The sun was a radiant beacon, filling the world with light and energy, guiding the growth of plants and the cycles of life. But God did not stop there. He also created the moon, a gentle, glowing orb that would light up the night. The moon was a symbol of peace and rest, casting its soft light over the sleeping earth. Along with the moon, God created the stars, tiny points of light that filled the night sky, twinkling like diamonds against the darkness. The stars were countless, each one a reminder of God's infinite power and creativity. The sun, moon, and stars were placed in the sky to serve as signs, marking the days, seasons, and years. They would guide the lives of all creatures on earth, helping them to understand the passage of time and the rhythms of life. The fourth day came to an end, and the heavens were now a dazzling display of light and beauty. On the fifth day, God turned his attention to the waters and the sky. He knew that the earth needed life to fill its oceans and skies, to bring movement and vitality to his creation. And so, God created the creatures of the sea and the birds of the air. In the oceans, fish of all shapes and sizes swam through the water, their scales shimmering in the sunlight. The seas were filled with life, from the tiniest plankton to the great whales that roamed the deep. The fish darted through coral reefs, swam in schools, and played in the waves, filling the oceans with color and movement. Above the water, the sky was filled with birds. They soared through the air on powerful wings, their calls echoing across the land. Some birds were small and delicate, flitting from tree to tree, while others were large and majestic, soaring high above the clouds. The birds filled the sky with song and beauty, bringing joy to all who would one day hear them. God blessed the creatures of the sea and the birds of the air, telling them to be fruitful and multiply, to fill the waters and the skies with life. The fifth day came to an end, and the earth was now teeming with life, its oceans and skies alive with movement and energy. On the sixth day, God turned his attention to the land. He knew that the earth needed creatures to live on the dry land, to inhabit the fields, forests, and mountains that he had created. And so, God created the animals of the earth. The land was now filled with creatures of all kinds. Cattle grazed in the fields, their bellies full of the rich grass that covered the earth. Wild animals roamed the forests and plains, each one unique and perfectly suited to its environment. The land was also home to reptiles and insects, small creatures that scurried across the ground, filling the earth with life and movement. But God was not finished. He wanted a creature that would be like him, a being that could think, reason, and create. And so, God created man in his own image. He formed man from the dust of the earth, breathing life into him, and man became a living being. God called this first man Adam, and he placed him in the Garden of Eden, a paradise filled with every kind of tree, plant, and animal. Adam was different from the other creatures on earth. He was given the ability to think, to make decisions, and to understand the world around him. He was given dominion over all the creatures of the earth, to care for them and to rule over them wisely. But God saw that it was not good for Adam to be alone. So, he caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, and from Adam's side, he created a woman. This woman was called Eve, and she was to be Adam's companion, his equal, and his partner in life. Together, Adam and Eve were the first humans, created in the image of God. They were given the gift of life and the responsibility to care for the earth and all its creatures. God blessed them and told them to be fruitful and multiply, to fill the earth and subdue it, and to rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and every living creature that moves on the ground. The sixth day came to an end, and the earth was now complete. It was a place of beauty and abundance, filled with life and energy. The sky was filled with light, the seas with fish, the land with animals, and the world with human beings. God looked upon all that he had made, and he saw that it was very good. On the seventh day, God rested from all his work. The seventh day was a day of rest, a Sabbath, a time to reflect on the beauty and wonder of creation. God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, a day set apart from all others, a day of peace and rest. The earth was now complete, a perfect creation, filled with life and beauty. The sun shone in the sky, the stars twinkled at night, and the world was filled with the sounds of life. God's work was done, and it was very good. And so, the story of creation came to an end, with the world full of life, light, and love. God had created a perfect world, a place of harmony and beauty, and he had given it to man to care for and to enjoy. The earth was a gift from God, a testament to his power, wisdom, and love, and it was a place where all living things could thrive and flourish.